This tag should be called How to Pretend You're Not Totally Freaking Out Because You Are So Behind on Your Goodreads challenge. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I am Fran, this is Franook in the pages, and today I have the end of the year book tag. This tag was created by Ariel Bissett. I love this tag. The end of the year is my favorite time of the year because of the fall, because of Christmas. It is just the best. So let's jump right in. Question number 1. Are there any books you started this year that you need to finish? Yes, there are. Of course there are. Because I'm the worst reader ever. I have this very bad habit of picking up multiple books at the same time and then I lose some along the way. I just put them down and one day I forget to pick them back up because my mind gets caught on something else. Sometimes I really have the attention span of a fly, so I do have some books that I am in the middle of. Some are more recent, others not so much. One that is recent is Meddling Kids by Edgar Cantero. I've talked about this in my fall TBR video. I will leave it linked in the description down below in case you want to check it out and you haven't yet. I started it in October. I am still reading it. It's going very slow. I had very high hopes and I am loving the writing style, but there is something about the story itself that sometimes is off-putting, like it doesn't make me want to go back to the story right away. So it's taking some time, but I haven't given up yet. I really want to finish this book because this book has been on hold since last year and there is no way that I'm taking it with me into 2023 without having finishing it. Like there's no way that's happening. So the other book that I had started in June was One Last Stop by Casey McQuiston. I read this book last year and I wasn't a huge fan. It kind of let me down a little bit. And this year I just found myself in the mood to pick it back up again. I wanted to give it another chance. I wanted to give it another go. And I started reading it. I was loving it. I was devouring it. And then Pride Month ended. I got distracted by other things and I think I was like halfway through. I really want to finish it. Question number 2. Do you have any autumnal book to transition into the end of the year? I have been listening to a mystery series that I think is very autumnal. It has that vibe and it kind of helped me already transition into the end of the year. We are now towards the end of November, so it is actually the end of the year already and autumn has come and gone so fast. Thank you, climate change. This series is Pentecost and Parker by Stephen Spotswood. The first book was Fortune Favors the Dead, and the second book that I'm listening to right now is Murder Under Her Skin, and I'll be talking about this series much more in my November wrap-up, but just so you know, it's perfect for this time of the year. The other book that I want to listen to that is going to help me transition into the end of the year, and I explain that very carefully in my full TBR video, so again, I recommend you go ahead and watch that. But it is Her Majesty's Royal Coven by Juno Dawson. Basically, this is about witches, but last year I read a Juno Dawson book that was set during Christmas and I read it at the beginning of December, so I want to read Her Majesty's Royal Coven between the end of November, beginning of December, and I think I'll have myself a nice little tradition of reading Juno Dawson books towards the end of the year, at the beginning of December. That works just fine with me. Third question, is there a new release that you're still waiting for? There is actually only one, and that is the third book in the Pentecost and Parker series by Stephen Spotswood. The third book is going to be called Secrets Typed in Blood. I love these titles. I don't know anything about this book. It's a series, it's a mystery series. I don't really care about the synopsis. I am loving the characters. I'm going to read whatever book comes out in this series, and I don't know if I will be reading before the year ends, but I will definitely be reading it soon. Perhaps one of the first books I read in 2023. Question number 4. What are 3 books you want to read before the end of the year? One book that I didn't get around to in time last year was The Boy Who Steals Houses by C.G. Drews, and I really want to get to that book before the year ends, so that is definitely a priority. This is a book about a character, a teenager who is basically a squatter. He lives in other people's houses when they're not there, and then he leaves when they come back from vacation or from wherever they went. And one day he's in a house, and the family who owns that house comes back before he was expecting it. They think this boy is friends with one of the kids of this family, and nobody says anything about that, and he just ends up staying there with them. And that is such a cool and interesting premise to me. I really want to read it and see how that whole situation is going to play out. Another book I've talked about previously on this channel and that I really would like to read, it's short and quick, and I am so behind on my Goodreads challenge. I need books that are short and quick to read, and that is Love the Journey for Me, The Queer Revolution of Schitt's Creek by Emily Garside. This is so tiny, as you can see. It's a non-fiction book about the impact that Schitt's Creek has had on the LGBT community and for the LGBT community. And I am all about that. And the last book that I would like to read before the year ends is a book. It's actually a graphic novel, a comic. It's a comic that I got 3 years ago in New York at the Strand. And that book is the Calvin and Hobbes 10th anniversary book. There you go. I love these two, but I've never read a whole book, like a whole comic with their comics, if that makes sense. I saw this at the Strand. It was on sale, I think, or something like that. And I just wanted to get it, and I got it, and I've had it for 3 years. 3 years, and I haven't gotten around to it yet, which is unforgivable, honestly. So this thing is going to get read, hopefully. 5th question, is there a book you think could still shock you and become your favorite book of the year? Yes, absolutely. I haven't read as much as I would have wanted to this year because, once again, things out of my control happened. So a lot of time has been devoted to such things, and that time was taken away from reading. So I haven't read as much, but I read some incredible books. Some books that really stayed with me, some books that I already know will be in my top best favorite books of this year, if not of all time. But there are still some books that I plan on reading that I think might make the cut, that I think might have their spot on that list. One of them I just know will have a spot on that list. And that book is A Prayer for the Crown Shy by Becky Chambers. I know that I'm going to love this book. I just know that it's going to be a favorite of all time because I read the first book this year and it was just incredible. It is one of my favorite books of all time. It is one of my favorite books of this year. I do think that it's going to be as good, if not better, than the first one. So I am really, really excited to read this. And I think you will see this. I am calling it. I'm calling it. I think you will see this in my favorite books of 2022. And last but not least, 6th question. Have you already started making reading plans for 2023? Not really. I have some ideas about where I would like my reading to go in 2023. I know that I want to try to focus on some genres a bit more. I know that I want to try and read more Italian books in 2023. I have some ideas. Nothing is set in stone yet. Nothing has been decided yet, but there's still some time. There's still some time to make a proper list of New Year's reading resolutions for 2023. So I will keep you posted and you will get a video about that. So don't you worry about it. And this is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching it. I hope you enjoyed it. Please let me know in the comments if you have read any of the books that I've talked about, and if so, let me know in the comments what you thought about them. Also, feel free to answer to these prompts in the comments down below so we can talk about what your choices are for these prompts. If you have already made a video about it, please let me know so I can come and check it out. Or if you haven't made it yet and you do have a booktube channel and you would like to do this tag, consider yourself tagged and do the video and then come back and let me know that you did it so I can come and check it out. Again, thank you so much for watching this video. I will see you very soon with another one, but until then, have a good one, take care and keep reading. Warm hugs. Bye.